Part 1. The Unsent Message. Dr. Elias Mercer had never been good with goodbyes. He was even worse with I love you. It wasn't that he didn't feel them. He just couldn't say them, especially to his father. His father, Walter Mercer, was a man of logic, a retired engineer who measured love in light bulbs replaced and roofs patched. He never said much, but when he did, it was always followed by an awkward cough and a well, that's life. They hadn't spoken properly in months, until the funeral. Walter died on a Tuesday. Sudden, quiet, just like he lived. Elias didn't cry. He stood like a machine, shaking hands, nodding politely, and wondering when funerals stopped serving sandwiches. That night, back in his lab at the university, Elias stared at the prototype, a device he had built for academic glory, the chronoecho recorder. It was meant to capture temporal imprints, residual echoes of time, stored in certain materials, like a voice trapped in wood, a moment in a coffee cup. He had never tested it properly. But grief is a great motivator. He took the old pocket watch his father used to carry, brass, worn, ticking faintly, and hooked it to the chronoecho. The machine hummed. Lights flickered. And then, Elias, you always were too smart for your own good. His father's voice, not from a recording. From then, Elias didn't sleep for 36 hours. He worked, rewired, reprogrammed. He realized the chronoecho didn't just retrieve echoes. It created windows. Windows to the past. But only for 3 minutes. And only once. Once the moment was relived, it collapsed like a memory burned to ash. Elias stared at the data logs. He could open one moment. And only once. The funeral had given him nothing. The memories gave him guilt. But the chronoecho, it gave him a chance. Not to change the past, but to speak to it. To him. To say what he never did. He chose a Tuesday. 2 years ago. A rainy morning when he last visited his father. He remembered leaving angry. A stupid argument about wasting time on machines. Elias had walked out without a word. That was his moment. He calibrated the device. Time locked in. Door opened. He was back. The smell of old books. Oil. Toast burning in the kitchen. His father was sitting by the window, grumbling at a crossword puzzle. Ugh. 5-letter word for disappointment. Starts with Ida. Elias, he said quietly. Walter turned, surprised. Didn't expect you back so soon. Elias's voice cracked. I needed to say something. You all right, son? I'm sorry for walking out. I'm sorry for thinking I had all the time in the world. I thought we'd have more breakfasts, more arguments. Walter raised an eyebrow. Well, that's dramatic. I never said it, but I should have. Elias stepped closer. I love you, Dad. Walter looked stunned, then awkward, then soft. Well, that's life. And he smiled. The timer beeped. 3 minutes gone. Back in the lab, Elias stood alone. The watch was cold. The room was quiet. But inside him, something shifted. He hadn't changed the past. But maybe, just maybe, the past had changed him. Part 2. The Echo Beyond Time. Weeks passed. The chronoecho recorder sat untouched in the corner of Elias's lab, like an unplugged ghost. He had no intention of using it again. The past had spoken and he had listened. But grief, like time, doesn't move in a straight line. It loops, twists, and then one day it asks a question. What if he had more to say? Not to his father, but to his son. Elias had a son, Jamie, 22, lived across the country. Smart, sharp, stubborn, just like him. And just like him, terrible at goodbyes. Their last call had ended in silence. Not anger, just disconnection. They loved each other, of course, but it was a kind of love spoken through awkward texts and missed birthdays. Elias stared at Jamie's name on his phone screen. No message sent. He sighed. I'm becoming him. That night, Elias dreamed. He was back in his childhood home. His father stood in the doorway, holding a cup of tea. You think the hard part is saying goodbye, Walter said, but really the hard part is knowing when to say it. I already did, Elias replied. Did you? Walter smirked. Or did you just rehearse it? Then the dream dissolved. Elias woke up with a decision. The chronoecho recorder was not just for the past. It was for reflection, for perspective, for healing. But what if it could go forward? No time machine, no paradox, just a message. Recorded now, to be delivered later. A goodbye waiting for the right moment. He modified the device. Instead of capturing echoes, it would plant them in a sealed time lock capsule. A message to Jamie to be unlocked only if Elias was ever gone. Just like Walter, he pressed record. Hey, kid, I guess if you're watching this, then I've finally done what I always feared. Left without saying anything. I wasn't great at love, or words, or showing up. I thought time would fix that, but time, it doesn't fix things. People do. I spent years building a machine to hear the past, but it took losing my father to realize what matters is what we say now. I love you, Jamie, even if I never said it in the right way or enough or when you needed it most. You don't have to forgive me. You don't have to understand. Just know that I was trying, and the only way I knew how. And when you have a kid of your own, don't wait. Say it, even when it's awkward, especially then. Don't build machines. Build moments. He sealed the capsule, marked it for Jamie, only if I don't come back, and placed it in a safe, next to the pocket watch, next to memory, next to regret. Years later, Jamie would sit in Elias's O-Lab, the lights dim, the hum of machines long silent, and he'd play the message, and he'd cry, and then he'd laugh, because even after death, his father still couldn't end a sentence without awkward advice. Outside, the world would move on. Time would tick. But somewhere between seconds, between hello and goodbye, a love once unsaid would finally be heard. And that was enough.